So what I have found through these many interviews, I've actually done about 70 formal interviews and 100 informal, meaning I'm sitting next to somebody and I start interviewing and they don't know it. The other thing that was a really interesting observation to me around asking questions was Lester Crown. Who knows who Lester Crown is? Okay. Lester Crown is one of the wealthiest men in the world. He's a mentor of mine. And I asked him, how is it that you use questions? And he goes, I don't know. And then he comes back. There's 3 things. And I said, okay. Tell me a story about them. Okay. He says, I've worked in every position in my company. And I know that the people in those positions know much more than I do about what they do. So for me to question them on what they do wouldn't be very smart, would it? I said, no, it wouldn't be very smart at all. Tell me more. Tell me more. So as we talked about it, it started making me think that if I had somebody describe what they did yesterday, okay, and we'll just do a quick snapshot of that. And I know she's going to be terribly embarrassed. What did you do yesterday?
I traveled here.
Anything else?
It's about a 12-hour trip.
Okay, so you can see. Now, I didn't get the nuance of who she sat next to, whether she drove, flew, where'd she come from. There's a lot of things I didn't get. Now, I could ask a lot of questions, and I've learned this. I've actually timed this, and it takes about 5 minutes typically. It was a short day of traveling for you, I understand. But truly, I mean, it's very hard. I mean, you're drawing people out. You're going, come on, tell me more. Now think about this. Somebody's working on a project for you in whatever the business, in the classroom, it doesn't matter. They spend 40 hours, 80 hours, 200 hours, 2,000 hours on this, and they're going to come into your office. You're going to spend an hour. Now what's the likelihood that even if they recap it all, you're really going to know all that much to making the decision? And that's why the slide with regards to who is it, what are you trying to do, make the decision or help somebody else make the decision? Because for you to really make that decision and get the nuances of what they know about all the players involved and whatever the information you need, it's going to take a heck of a lot more time than you have, because that's why the person's working in that job. And it's about moving them forward and moving them forward with their questions. And if I don't get going, they're going to move me right out of here. How frequently does your boss ask for your advice at work? And the survey says, I'll get closer. Frequently, occasionally, and so this is interesting because this correlates pretty well with our national survey that I had a firm do for us, because I was really interested in this, which is, okay, if exceptional leaders are asking a lot of questions, then let's hear from the employees and see if they actually are asking a lot of questions. Seldom to never, 33%. Somebody works for you and you'd never ask? I mean, that's wild to me. That's really wild. I was doing a training and somebody says, yeah, but this person is like, they work with our copier. And I said, and you don't think they know more about copying than you do? Can you make copies? No. Then why are you giving them so much advice? It's pretty straightforward stuff. So as a follower, which do you prefer? Being asked or being told? And the survey says, being asked. Wow. Isn't that, I'm sorry, it's mind-blowing. Come on, compared to the statistics that we saw earlier, because you guys say, one, that you're very strong at leadership, okay, or was it very strong? I think it was very strong. It was very strong. And then ask a lot of questions, okay, but not over the top on the questions. But as a follower, over the top. We know this. We know this as leaders. We absolutely know that as a follower, people want to figure it out themselves. In school, what was more important to know as a student? It's only appropriate that we're in an educational institution, so please have the appropriate answer. Yes, the answer. There you go. It was the answer, except I was the kid in the class in the front, always asking the questions. It was the answer, and it is the answer. And part of this change is a real problem in our paradigm when we move into the workplace. Because in the workplace, it changes from having the answer to knowing the question and the right question. And so we have a confluence of trends going on here. One is we're taught to know the answer. We're taught from day one. We think it's really good when our kids know the right answers to the questions that we ask them. And we applaud them for knowing, hey, who was, in fact, today in our training center, who's the first president of the United States? Please.
George Washington.
Awesome. Good job. Good job. In fact, you know what? We have a prize for you. Yes, we do. We have one of our Quiz 20. You ask 20 questions, right, to it, and it'll know the answer. So this is good. Here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kids love this too. So flood of information. We have just an enormous 300,000 years to build up 12 billion, is it gigabytes? Gigabytes. And now we double it every 6 months. Who can keep up? Well, guess what? It's the new generation that's keeping up because they know how to sift, sort, and get through this stuff and figure it out. And guess what? It's really tough, but they love it. They love to figure out the answers. And they can't do that unless they're asked the question. Icons. Our icons are people who told. Come on, John Wayne. Anybody watch John Wayne when they were younger? Okay, there's a fair number. Okay, how about the Terminator? Oh, more. Okay, so we know about leaders who tell, like this. Okay, and then changing in generations. Gary and I, somewhere in here, we're talking over there. We were talking about the students today, and that they don't want to be told. They want to figure it out. They really want to figure it out. So it's about asking them. So here we have it as this is data that comes from Korn Ferry. What they did is they compiled data from the top executives in the country, database of about 250,000. They looked at income against performance, and they did these assessment tests against them. What they found was early in career, it was all about telling. It was all about telling. And it was about being a supervisor, telling people how to do it and how it's going to go. And as they moved, there was a turning point. And at this turning point, they either made it or they didn't make it. And the turning point was if they didn't learn to be open-minded, flexible, and inclusive, and start asking, their career started going the other way. So there's a real financial gain to what I'm talking about tonight, which is asking and being open to the possibility of letting somebody else know. So in order to do this, it's really about high trust of other. And we have to trust those people that work for us, or they probably shouldn't be working for us. And don't go right to the conclusion. A lot of people do this. You know, I coach senior executives, and they go right to the conclusion. Then I'm going to fire this person. You know, oftentimes, it has nothing to do with the person. They're very competent. It's that we don't know how to trust somebody else. And I'll speak for myself. I mean, early in my career, I always say, sadly I say, I did it. I built my company on the backs of my employees. Meaning, yeah, I'd ask them questions. Yeah, I'd also tell them what to do. And it was wrong. And it wasn't until I developed as a leader to recognize that it was wrong. Because, somebody does not come to work, okay, and say, I'm going to be a lousy employee today. It just doesn't hit. You wake up, and you go, gosh, good to be alive. I'm going to be a lousy employee today. I'm not trustworthy. I'm not competent. I'm just going to show up that way. That's how it's going to be.